Welcome to Think Your Way Up with Dr. Jinneh, the only space in the world where neuroscience, executive leadership, and purpose-driven principles collide to help you disrupt your dysfunctional thoughts and do life and business better. I'm Dr. Jinneh, the friend in your head who will challenge you each week to evict your mental chatter, eliminate your yo-yo thinking, and help you attain the clarity and tools to think up. So let's disrupt the mental chatter together because your next breakthrough starts now. Welcome to Think Your Way Up.
Child, let's be real. 2024 didn't come in quiet at all. It came in loud, it came in chaotic, it came in kicking and screaming as if she didn't want to be here. And she is 2025. So if 2025 was a person, she has been acting a plum fool, as my grandmother would say. From the distraction to the challenges, to the obstacles, to the tragedies, to the pain, to the confusion, to the discourse, to all of the things, this year has been loud already. From the external voices to social media, and even if I'm honest, fighting my own self-doubt, it's been real. But what I know to be true is that the noise doesn't have to control you. So my name is Dr. Jinneh, and I am a person that I believe has been called to disrupt dysfunctional thinking in the minds and lives of individuals, leaders, and organizations. I've been in this mindset, mental health speaking space now for almost 2 decades. And I'm irrationally passionate about helping high-performing leaders think up and create the future that they want in their mind first. For years, my people, from clients to colleagues to corporate partners, have been telling me, asking me, begging me, like, you need a podcast. But I didn't want to just be another talking head out in this whole universe, this whole space. I wanted to make sure that whenever I did tap into the conversation, that I had something that would be of value, that would be inspirational, that would be informational, and most importantly, that would be transformational. So today's episode is probably, if I'm honest, more so for me than it probably is for you. Because I've been in a battle. We have been battling my mind like never before. Now, this isn't something that is foreign to me or for me, because my entire life, I have struggled with my mind. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety at a very young age, and I spent close to 20 years learning how to live and manage my depression and my anxiety. I've been off medication for now close to about 15 years. So I've learned how to manage it. I've learned my triggers. I've learned how to use exercise and nutrition and prayer and sleep and other things to help me live a life that is medication free. So when I talk about the battle of my mind, this is not a battle with depression like I have faced before. The battle that I'm in has been a battle between what my mind is saying and thinking and feeling and where my heart is leading and pulling me to. It's been rough. For someone that has spent my entire life learning how to live and be me, I'm trained in the space, I teach in this space, I coach in this space, I speak in this space, and now I'm the one that's in another battle. And this battle has truly been different. It's been different because I've been doing all the things that I know to be true. I've been doing all the things that have helped me, that have helped hundreds and thousands of other people that God has allowed me to work with over the years. But I haven't received the outcome that I thought that I should have had. Like, I haven't received like this clearance of like this relief and like a freedom from my head. What I have been doing is building up my resilience, building up my stamina because I'm still in the fight. So you're probably like, okay, Dr. J, like, what are you talking about? What's happening? Because I don't understand. So the space that I'm in, and I've been in this space for about 4 months. At the time of this recording, it is my birthday, February the 8th, 2025. And I've been in this space, I would say probably since September. I went to a conference called Woman Evolve, hosted by Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. And the theme of the conference, her focus was surrender. So when I went into the space, I was like, I don't really think I need to surrender. I don't have anything that I need to surrender in this season. Like I'm doing, I'm living, I'm being, I'm operating in the space and the way that God has called me to operate in. And that was the way that I went into the conference. I went in not thinking that there was something for me, but I was there to be a vessel, to be a midwife to my sisters, to the other women around me. Like I was going to be the person that was going to help them give birth to their dreams, help them push out their purpose, help them get clarity. Like I really went into the space like, okay, I'm about to serve because I'm good. Life is good. Family's good. Home is good. My mental health is good. I'm back on like getting my body right. I'm in a good space. So I'm at the conference and I'm still not thinking that this was for me. I'm still not thinking that these words of surrender was for me in this time, in this moment. I was still thinking that I was there to be midwife. I was still there to support my sisters. And on the very last day of the conference, I had this feeling, this very strong feeling in my gut. It was a physical manifestation along with a spiritual manifestation where I felt this tug and I felt that God was telling me it's time to expand, like it's time to increase. And there were some things in the business that I knew that I needed to start doing. Like I knew that I need to start building this out, pursuing this. But the tug that I was feeling was more than just a business tug. It was like, it's time to expand your territory. So I asked God, I said, okay, God, what do I need to do in the business? Like I'm excited because anything about business, anything about making an impact, helping people, transforming lives across the globe, as a speaker, as a coach, as an author, a thought leader, I'm like, I'm all in, game on, put me in, coach. And God was like, it's not the business. Like, I'm ready to expand you. I'm ready to bring increase to you. And I was like, okay, what does this mean? And he said, I'm calling you to do more in the church space as it relates to disrupting dysfunction. Like, I'm calling you to be a voice in this generation to help disrupt the dysfunctional thinking patterns that my children have been battling and buckled down with. And I'm like, okay, I'll surrender. I will do it. But I didn't know the cost of surrender. I didn't know that me saying yes to taking these gifts fully back into the kingdom space, into the church space, I didn't know the cost of it. I didn't know the weight of it. What I knew and what I thought at the time was that the business that I had been building since 2012 was the ministry that God had called me to. And I would always tell people like ministry is what I do, business is how I do it. So thought that I was operating in divine alignment and divine strategy and in the space that God had called me to do and be. And while that's true, the expansion of the kingdom, the expansion of my territory, the increase that I thought that I was going to have to do business, it was actually going to come through taking the gifts back into the church and operating in that space. So since leaving that conference in September, I have been battling. The things that I have been called to teach, to coach, to speak, and to help others have been the things that I've been attacked on. When I say battle, I'm talking about an out-of-body experience where for the first time in my life, my intellect, my education, my motivation, the books, other people's sermons, like the words of wisdom, my friends and my husband, none of that could shake or break this thing off of me. Like all the things that I had believed and I had been pulling on, none of those things were working. None of those things were shaking things off of me. And when I realized in that moment, this is what surrender looks like. Surrendering means completely being open, not resisting, but allowing God to truly be the center and source of your life. To be in a space to where it's like, okay, God, it's your way, your will, however you want to do it, whatever you want this to look like, and however long it takes, I'm on this ride with you. I'm doing this thing with you and for you to give you all glory. It's one thing to say, I'll surrender. It's one thing to say, I'll expand. It's one thing to say that I want increase, but it's another thing to be in the space to where you actually have to walk it like you talk it. So now here I am. And if I'm honest, I'm still in a fight. But I've been intentional about silencing the noise around me and amplifying my focus, which is my purpose, which is my calling, which is making sure that I'm doing, I'm being, I'm seeing, I'm saying, and I'm hearing the things that God wants me to be, hear, do, and say. And it's not easy. But what has always bothered me, and this is just me, so take this with a grain of salt, is when people of influence, people who've been called, people who have a voice in this world, that they wait until they're on the other side and then they tell us about, hey, I'm on the other side. This is how I got to the other side. And while I commend them for their courage and for their transparency in sharing what the other side looks like, what I've always wanted and needed was, what does in the middle of it look and feel like? Like, what does it look and feel like when you don't have the money to pay your bills and you're actively in that space and you're talking about it? What does it look like when you have that negative health report and you're staring what the doctor says and your belief of what God says, you're staring at both of them in the face? What does it look like when your marriage is struggling in the moment and you're still having to show up and get up and help other people that are in the marriage space? What does it look like when your kids are walling out of control and you still are called to help other people navigate parenting with their kids? What does it look like when you're battling your mind or you're battling your weight and you still have to show up and encourage other people? So what I've wanted to do and what I've always wanted to be was be the person that would live out loud, that will show you how pain, that will show you how frustration, that will show you how obstacles and challenges look like in the moment, and then show you how I'm walking through to get out of it. Because what I know is that God doesn't just give us mountains for us to go around it. He gives us mountains so we can show other people how to move the mountain that's in front of us. So this is the season where I'm living out loud in front of you. This is a season where I am probably not at my total best, and I'm okay with that. Because what I know is that when I am weak, God's strength is made strong. He is strong that is in me. And I would rather be in this place, a place of vulnerability, falling flat on my back, but looking straight up at the heavens, because I know that in this season, when I do come out, it will be nobody but God that can get the credit for where I am and for where I'm going. So I want to encourage you in this season, no matter where you are, no matter what life's pains, obstacles, or challenges that are staring you in your face, what I want you to know is that you have every single thing that you need to get yourself out. But you have to silence the noise of your head and the noise of the world outside, and you have to amplify your focus. You got to cut through the noise. You got to train your ear and train your eyes and train your mouth to only hear, see, and speak the things that are going to propel you closer to the purpose that God has called you for. You also have to know that whatever you focus on, it expands. And all of these things are fighting for your attention. the doubt, the external voices, the social media, like all these things, they are fighting for your attention, and it's truly time to shut it down. If it's not going to help you, if it's not going to heal you, then that thing has to go. You have to silence it. So let me share with you what I'm doing every single day to fight my mind back because my mind can't have me. I tell my mind what to think. I tell my mind what to believe. It doesn't work the other way. I'm in control of me. I'm in control of my thoughts. I'm in control of my now. I'm in control of my destiny. I'm in control of my next. And so are you. So, this is what I'm doing in this moment to fight back. Because what I won't do is give in. What I won't do is give out. I've gone through too much hell and high water to allow the enemy to take me out now. He should have took me out a long time ago when he had me. But because he didn't, he can't have me now and he can't have you now. Your obedience to do the thing that God has called you to do is tied to your destiny. I will say this now and I will say this until I don't have breath in my body. There are people that are looking for you, that are Googling you, that are searching for you, and that are praying for you every single moment because you are the solution to what they are seeking. You are the thing that they have been praying for. So, no, your voice will not be muted in this season. Your vision will not be invalidated in this season. Your purpose will not be paused in this season. We gonna fight back. This is our fighting back season. We are not tapping out, we're tapping back in. It's game on. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, because I want to make sure that when I say this is what I'm doing, that these are some things that you're also going to do to tap again. And I'm going to keep every strategy for the episodes very simple, very concise, because I want you to implement. I want you to do these things, not until they work, but do them over and over and over until they don't work anymore. So I want to make this simple. I want to make this easy. I want to make this practical for you because I believe in you and I need you to win. And most importantly, I want you to win. So this is what I'm doing, and I want you to do this too. Number one, limit what you consume. Every voice doesn't deserve access to your mind. Your mind is your greatest asset. That's your superpower. Why in the world would you let anybody have access to the thing that can move and change your entire world? Why would you let any and everybody have access to the thing that's connected to your destiny, that's connected to your purpose, that's connected to your vision, that's connected to your bank account, that's connected to your health, that's connected to your family? Why would you give somebody access to that? Like, think about it. You wouldn't give a stranger on the street access to your bank account. You wouldn't give them your routing number. You wouldn't give them your checking account number. So why do you allow people on the outside world on social media and any other space that you're in to have access to your mind? They don't deserve that. So we're going to limit what we consume in this season. The second thing we're going to do is that we're going to set our focus daily. We're going to think about what is the thing that we need to focus on. We're going to find out what's the thing that we need to focus on? What's the thing that's going to move the needle today? And then we're going to protect that at all costs. What do I need to focus on? What matters to me? And I'm going to protect it. We're going to protect it like our life depends on it because it does. And the third thing we're going to do is that we are going to create intentional, quiet time. I want you to teach yourself how to be still mentally and physically because clarity comes in stillness. Clarity comes when we are quiet and when we are still. This is how we know how to move, how to adjust, how to pivot, how to play the hand that we've been dealt. We can't do that if we're moving and we're busy and it's loud and we have things that are competing for our attention. It's when we disrupt all those things and we are quiet that things become clear. So I want you to create that intentional quiet time and know that in that stillness, That's where clarity comes. So your goals, everything that you desire, they need your undivided attention. You got to lock in, you got to focus. So this week, we're going to choose silence over noise. We're going to amplify our focus and we're going to lock all the way in. I know you can do this. I believe in you and I want to help you win. So let me know in the next episode, how was this? Did this work for you? Because I want to make sure. All right. I'm here with you. We're in this together. We are in this together. I may be the leader in this space, but we're growing together. Like I will never be bigger or beyond anybody else. We're all in this together and we're all going to grow together. So that's what I have for you. But I do have a question from Sonia. So Sonia in North Carolina, she wrote in, she said, Dr. J, thank you so much for creating a space where you can help people like me. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I work full time, and I'm also a small business owner. But I feel I am so far behind in this season because I've had so many obstacles, so many challenges, so many things that have taken my focus away. So my question is, how do I stay focused when life keeps throwing curveballs? Sonia, thank you so much for reaching out. Thank you so much for your transparency and for your humility to even be bold enough and courageous enough to even ask for the help. And girl, I felt this one. But here's what I believe. Life has a way of not just even testing us, but also training us. And if I'm honest, the distractions are always going to be there. Jesus talks about them. Like we're always going to have trials, we're always going to have tribulations in life. And I think that's the space that many of us have not been conditioned and prepared for. Like we have not been conditioned and prepared to expect the challenges, to expect the obstacles, to expect the roadblocks, to expect the setbacks. It's like we think that, oh, it's coincidental or it's every now and then. But no, if we start looking at it, that this is a part of life, the change is a part of life, the challenge is a part of life, the setbacks, and we start preparing for these every single day, then we're never blindsided when they happen. This is why I always tell people, like, sometimes life is not about testing us, but it's about training us. It's about helping to build those muscles of resiliency, helping us to build our mental stamina, helping us to build our mental endurance. So here's one way I want you to think about it, is that life is not testing you, but it's training you, it's developing you, and that the distractions are always going to be there. And when we know that, now we got to put our game shoes on. Now we got to lace up and we got to go into our training season. So here's the key. The key is about training your mind to stay locked in no matter what's happening around you. It doesn't matter if the rains are falling, if the wind is blowing, if the storms are outside, if the bank account is dipping, if the credit score has dropped, if the health report is not what you desired, if the marriage or the relationship is on rocky ground, none of those things matter because those things are temporary situations and circumstances. What matters is you're training your mind to stay locked in no matter what. So here are 3 things that I want you to do today and every single day after this. Number 1, control what you can control. Stressing out over things outside of your control and focus on what can you take action on today. How can you serve your husband and children well? How can you serve your colleagues at work well? How do you serve your clients well? Like, don't worry about, you said like you started this year and you felt you're behind. This year has just gotten started. We cannot allow one quarter in a game. Like if you're playing a basketball game, you can't allow one quarter to determine the entire game. You still got 3 more quarters to play. One quarter does not make or break you unless you choose to let it make or break you. So stop stressing out over things that you cannot control and focus on what you can do. What action can I take today? How can I serve others well today? What do I need from me so that I can win today? So control what you can control. Then I want you to create a distraction-free zone. This goes back to what I just talked about, being quiet, being still. So I want you to turn off all notifications Everything that's competing for your attention, competing for your priorities, turn those notifications off, set some boundaries. When are you going to look on social media? When you're not, when you're going to check emails, when you're not, when you're going to engage with your family, when you're not, when you're going to engage with your coworkers at work, set some boundaries. And I want you to spend time focusing and prioritizing what is important for you. This is not the wife, the mother, the coworker, the entrepreneur. This is the woman in you. What is important for you? So use that distraction-free zone. Whether you have 15 minutes or you have 1 hour, time is not about the time. It's about the quality of you sitting there being still and focusing on what's important to you, what's priority to you. And then, of course, last but not least, remind yourself of your why. Why did you start? Like, why did you start this? What is at stake if you quit? What happens when you win? What does winning look like? Focus on your why, because when your why is strong, distractions lose their power. I'm going to say that one again for my folks in the back of the room. When your why is strong, distractions lose their power. So remind yourself of your why. See, thank you so much, Sonia. And if you are out there and you have a burning question and you want me to tap in, I would love to help you. This is actually one of my little superpowers. I love to help people. I want us to win. I want you to create the life that you want so that you can win. Whether you are a corporate executive, an educator, a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home dad, or just a person like myself that's just trying to make the world better than we found it, I want you to win. So send me an email. All you have to do, email the team, info@jinnehdyson.com. Send us your questions, and we want to help you. We want to make sure that you have what you need so that you can win. So here's my closing for my Think Up friends around the world. Remember, one thought, one action, one habit can change your everything. When your why is strong, distractions lose their power. So today, instead of focusing on the things that are broken, the things that are hurting, the things that are not working, I want you to amplify your focus and focus on what is to come. Focus on the good, on the great that you're experiencing right now. One thing, find one thing to be grateful for, because it is our gratitude in life that changes our attitude and it determines our altitude. So I love you for real. And I can't wait to see you back next week on another episode of Think Your Way Up with Dr. J. Peace out.
Thank you for tuning in to Think Your Way Up with Dr. Jinneh. I hope today's episode challenged your thinking, shifted your perspective, and gave you the tools to disrupt your mental chatter and step boldly into your greatness. Remember, friend, you're just one thought away from the clarity, confidence, and transformation you deserve. If you love today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs this message. Let's spread the power of thinking up together. Until next time, keep challenging your limits, evicting your doubts, and creating the life and business you were meant to live. You've got this. I believe in you. See you next week on Think Your Way Up with Dr. Jinneh.